Welcome to the Heal Your Hunger Show, where we get to the heart of why you overeat and how to stop. If you struggle with food and weight like I did, welcome home.
Welcome everybody to the Heal Your Hunger Show. So happy to have you here. It is a great day to be live. It's such a great day. I mean, we're in the middle of summer here. It's awesome, inching towards the end of summer, but it's still summertime. So, wherever you are, I hope you're enjoying yourself, having some fun, allowing yourself to have fun. Not always easy for we emotional eaters to allow ourselves to have fun, allow ourselves to just grab a book and sit and read. Wow, wouldn't that be nice? Whatever it is you don't allow yourself to do, I hope you'll do that before the summer's up. Maybe go for a swim, go for a walk in the woods, bike ride, hike, movie, whatever fun is fun for you. I hope you'll allow yourself to do that. I want to talk to you today about how to get support from family on your weight loss journey, because it's tricky, right? It's really tricky. Family, they could be a big support or they can be a big detriment for us. So I want to dig into that today because I think it's a really important topic on how to get their support, and how to have it really be a harmonious journey for everybody involved. First of all, let's talk about what it's like for people who know us, if they're related to us and they don't understand this problem. Super, super important that we talk about that, because usually we just see things from our own perspective, right? We only see from our own perspective. And by the way, if you're not in the Secret Sauce group, I'm just going to jump tracks right now and just say, if you're not in the Secret Sauce group, join us in Facebook. Go to Secret Sauce to End Emotional Eating and join us there. That's where I'm recording live right now. But back to my topic. For those who know us intimately, it's not an easy ride, okay? Knowing an emotional eater, knowing somebody who struggles chronically with food and weight is exhausting for those people, okay? And we don't think of that. We think of our own journey, like how exhausting it is to struggle with food and weight, how exhausting it is to try one diet and after another, how exhausting to promise to do better, to get on a better track, and to turn the boat around and then slip and fall again, to say this week I'm going to be good, quotations good. I hate that. Like there's a good and a bad. It's not that way, but we use that verbiage. So we're going to be good. And then we blow it, and we feel terrible. We feel like crap. We know what that's like for us. We know the hell of not fitting into our jeans. We know the hell of having 5 different sizes in our closets. I mean, I used to have 5 different sizes of clothes in my closet because I was up and down the scale. I was a yo-yoer. So I'd be, doing great. I'd be like 150 and, I'm down from 155, doing great, and once in a while I dip below that. But then I was up, my highest was about 170, 175. And I had to have pants for that size too, and once in a blue moon, like every 4 years or so, I'd get down to 130. So I had to have a size for that. And of course, if you ever get to your goal weight, you don't, and then you put the weight back on, you don't ever let go of those clothes because you so want to get back there. I mean, you have that memory. I mean, that's implanted in your brain, getting back down to your goal weight. So you always hold on to those clothes, but they might get kind of dusty. If you're continuing on the diet roller coaster ride, you're not reaching your goal weight. You're continuing to struggle. You're up in the upper numbers, the numbers you swear you never get to. I was always amazed when I was overweight and overeating. I was always amazed how I would perpetually be unhappy about my weight. Whatever weight I was at on the scale, I would hate my body, and I'd criticize my body as, too fat, and my tummy too fat, and my butt too big. And then I'd gain more weight, and then I'd be like, damn, I wish I was the weight I was, but I hated the weight that I was, right? Like that's a big problem, is like we're never grateful for the weight we are, and forget that it can be worse. It can always be worse. So just a little aside, wherever you are right now, I get that you might be in food hell right now or weight hell. at least, you're where you are and aren't 20 pounds more or 50 pounds more. Okay. So just breathe, take a moment, and just appreciate that you are where you are right now. And I'll do the same, because those critical thoughts can come in even now at the weight that I'm at. So it's that crazy mindset, the mind of the emotional eater. But anyway, I had many different sizes in my closet. I had a lot of crazy behaviors around food, swearing off, then breaking out in a binge, having all these rules around food about what I can and can't eat, having little rituals around food about allowing like a certain snack at night, which would ultimately end up in a binge, because it was hard for me to just eat a little bit of food at nighttime when I'm watching TV. So there's a lot of ways that we don't keep our word when we're emotional eaters. We don't keep our word. We make promises that we break. We complain about our weight, right? I mean, I used to always ask people, do I look fat? And I'd look in the mirror and I'd be so unhappy with my weight and the way my clothes fit. So I'd ask, whoever was with me at the time, how do I look? Do I look fat? That's a lot to put on a spouse. That's a lot to put on a partner. How do I look? I mean, how do they answer? Well, you're kind of busting out. I mean, what are you going to say? You look fine, honey. So there's a lot of ways that being with us, the people around us who love us, our weight loss struggles and food struggles don't make life easy for them. And that's my point here is family, they go through it with us. They experience the roller coaster ride of the diet and binge syndrome. They experience the depression that we go into when we've lost control and we're in that bad, dark cycle of binging. And it's going on and we're packing on the pounds. They live that hell with us. And a lot of times we don't think of that. We forget what it's like for people who know us. We're so, the more we're into the food, the more self-involved we are. It's like we can't see beyond our nose. And when that's the case, it's really hard to remember that we're not the only ones going through it. Other people are experiencing the food hell from their perspective. No, they don't necessarily understand what it's like to be us. They don't know what it's like to be, out of control. They don't understand it. But they certainly know the hell of it because they have to be in it with us to some degree. And so that's really what I want to talk about here is how to get their support and really how to relieve them of the hell that they have to experience of knowing us when we're in the food and when we're struggling with our weight so much. And we don't mean to be a burden, obviously. I mean, we try to be friendly and happy and supportive of them. But there's, when you have this condition, and you're not getting the proper treatment for it, there's so much that is involved. There's so many ripple effects of that. And, it's hard. It's hard for us and it's hard for them. So, I want to talk about, how to get their support. And, this is simple. It's really, really simple. Okay. So I'm excited to share this with you. The first key to getting family support on your weight loss journey is to stop trying to get them to understand. Okay, just stop. Don't try to get them to understand. Your spouse wants to understand. Your spouse so wants to be supportive. I don't doubt, most of the time, we have good people in our lives. Yes, sometimes there's a bad apple. Sometimes we're in an abusive relationship with somebody who is not ever going to be supportive. Perhaps they're contributing to the problem by criticizing our weight or telling us we should be thinner or whatever. If that's the case, you need to move on from that. Okay, like that's not supporting you at all and will never, and it could be contributing to your problem. But aside from those bad apples, generally we have good, loving people in our lives who want to support us and they don't know what the hell to do with us. Okay. So the first key is to stop trying to get them to understand because they really can't. Nobody can understand what this is like. And they, well-meaning as they are, they might say things that are counterproductive. Like they might say, honey, why don't you just moderate? Like, why don't you just moderate your intake of sugar or carbs? That dietitians say that, nutritionists say that. There's a lot of well-meaning people, doctors, clergy. There's a lot of people who will try to help us with our weight struggles who say things that don't help. Moderation for an emotional eater, not sound advice for us. We can't moderate. That's the point, is that we don't have that moderating, button or that lever in our minds. That's why we got into the fix we got into. And that's why we're struggling, is because we don't have an off button. I mean, I didn't have an off button. I would binge, and I mean, once I ate some sugar, I couldn't stop eating sugar. I didn't want a bowl of ice cream. I wanted the whole container of ice cream. I didn't want a handful of chips. That's just a tease, right? Like, I want the whole thing, but I don't want just chips. I want, some sweet to go with the salty. So it just steamrolls into this, this terrible, terrible cycle of binging. And somebody who doesn't have, who can moderate, somebody who doesn't have that inability to moderate thinks that they're helping us by saying, why don't you moderate? So that's not good advice for us, but they can't, how would they know? Would they know we can't moderate? It's logical advice from where they're sitting. So the key is, don't try to get them to understand, because they cannot understand this. They want to, they're sweet, they're well-meaning, but they cannot. That's why sometimes they bring home sugar for us to eat. Sometimes they give us a cookie, or they bring home a box of donuts or whatever. They do that because they want to make us happy, and they don't understand that we can't stop once we start. So they're trying to be sweet, and they're like poisoning us. Like they're bringing us to a faster demise by doing that kind of thing. So the first key to getting their support is to stop trying to go to them and get them and understand. You're really hitting your head against a very hard wall with that. So what do you do instead? Well, super, super important. This brings me to the second key, is to get some support from people who do understand. Okay. So that's really going to help so much, is if you start getting help, like stop trying to get them to be your helpers. They can't help you if they don't know what you're going through. Nobody who's not an emotional eater can help you if they don't know what it's like. This is one of the keys to healing, is that you get help from somebody who understands and has not only been through the hell, but has gotten to the other side and has a solution. So the key is to get some support and help from somebody who understands. And this is what helped me many years ago when I got better. And this is why I provide, the service that I provide to emotional eaters, because I have been there. I know what it's like. I know I've been in that dark, dark place. I mean, that dark place can get so dark that it made me want to end my life. Like, I was so out of control of food. I just felt like the only way to end this is to end it, so I've been in that dark place, and I understand. And that's why I developed my program, my Heal Your Hunger program, to help people change their lives and change their relationship with food. So it's really key that you get help from people who understand, because they do understand. Like I get it. Like the women on my calls, my weekly calls, that's part of my program, like they're on there and they're like, oh my God, like she gets it. She gets it. We all get it. We speak a common language. There's a camaraderie. There's an identification. There's a laughter. It's like we laugh over some really like dark things, because it's like, oh my God, they get it. Like, I'm finally with my people. We finally get it. So to give your family a break, and to get their support, you need to just stop going to them for support. This is going to seem counterintuitive. Stop trying to get some support from them, and they'll be able to better support you. That's true, because you'll be going to where it makes sense, to where you can actually get help. And that takes the burden off of them. If they don't know how to help you and they can't help you, to keep going to them, trying to get them to help you, trying to help, like get them to help you control your food intake. It's just a losing battle, and as soon as you give them relief by going to somebody who can help you, then your relationship's going to improve, and they're going to feel more positively towards you. They're not going to feel frustrated, and they're not going to, experience, you constantly going back on your word when you say you're going to do better and you don't. All that's all mucky muck stuff that gets in the way, and it really clogs up your relationship. So go where there's hope and help, and then that'll ease up the tension in your relationship, and that'll help them feel more supportive and want to support you. The third key to getting family support is to let them experience you in this new freedom. Okay. So they're going to better support you. If they're like, if you're getting better is enhancing their lives, they're going to be like, keep doing it, keep doing it. How can I help? How can I make room for, you know, in the refrigerator for the foods you need to eat? How can I help you, you know, change your schedule so you can make those calls, those group calls, and be there? Like, they want to help you. But it gets frustrating and heavy for them, and they might get resentful of you and the ways that you struggle. They might get resentful about your whole lives being all about your food struggles and your weight struggles. I mean, you know, we're self-involved, and it becomes about us, and that gets really frustrating for them. So as soon as you get help, as soon as you go to the well that can feed you, you know, that can give you, you know, the water that you need, as soon as you do that, you're going to start lightening up. You're going to stop having it be about the food because you're starting to be free, and you're going to become lighter and happier and more joyful. And guess what? They're going to see that. They're going to feel that, and they're going to want to do whatever they can to support you, because now there's a solution. Now you guys aren't just in it, you know, chasing your tails and feeling frustrated and judging and being resentful and you know, just feeling helpless. I mean, that whole system between you is going to change as soon as you start getting help, as soon as you break free from emotional eating. It's like your whole demeanor changes, and it does, right? I mean, think about the difference between being in food hell, binging hell, like just being obsessed with food and all you want to do is eat, and then you're trying to hide it, right? But they're not stupid. They know what we're doing. You know, but when you're in that dark place versus when you're eating well, when you feel free, when you're, you know, you're doing good things for yourself, and then all that does is spawn a desire to do more good things for yourself. You know, you're starting to, you know, exercise gently, and then you're feeling good, and you're feeling lighter. Your pants are fitting, so getting up in the morning isn't a miserable experience because you can actually fit into your clothes, you know, the smaller sizes in your closet. That has an incredible benefit and effect on your family. Okay, they see mom feeling better. They see mom making better choices for herself. They see mom taking responsibility for her life. You know, they see mom speaking up for herself. There's so many byproducts of overcoming emotional eating that you don't even think of. I mean, so many byproducts. I mean, you feel better, you look better, you talk more positively, you get out of that self-centered place where it's all about you. You start to notice everybody else. You start to be more supportive. And don't get me wrong, I know as emotional eaters, we are people pleasers, and we're super nice, and we're super supportive of other people. That, you know, we do go overboard with that. So they might also experience you taking more time for yourself, and that needs to be a little negotiated. But as soon as they experience the benefits of you feeling better, they will be supportive of you taking time for yourself. They will want you to have more self-care in your life because you're nicer. You're nicer to be around. You're happier to be around. You're no longer, you know, burdening them with complaining and crying and being negative and self-hating. I mean, my God, they're gonna be like, honey, you go meditate. You know, you go meditate. I'll clean the dishes. I mean, it's just amazing when you start up leveling your mood and your life and the way you treat yourself. It will have a positive impact on everybody. Now, I know I talked about ways to get family support, and I'm talking more about how they're going to feel supported as you get better, but it works both ways. As you get better, you lighten the burden on the family, okay? You lighten the burden on the family, and then they want to support you, okay? When they feel burdened, oftentimes it comes out as negativity on their part, or criticism, or frustration, and that just, you know, again, both people just sort of devolve into this negative, frustrated, resentful place. But as you get better, it will relieve the tension in the relationship. It will make them feel better. It will make them feel like, wow, there's hope. Remember, they feel hopeless too. When you feel hopeless, they feel hopeless. So it'll bring, like, infuse hope into the relationship, into the household, and everybody will feel it. I mean, you can't help but feel it when you start to feel better about yourself, when you feel free, when you feel happy, when you start saying what you need instead of manipulating or beating around the bush and being passive aggressive. All that stuff comes with emotional eating. You know, when we're in that dark place, our communication sucks. Basically, it sucks, and we're not direct, you know, and we're just, you know, we're just complicated. So these are ways that, you know, that you can up level the energy in your family, is to stop trying to get them to understand. You know, get support from people who do understand. Find a real solution, not another diet. Don't go on another diet. Please don't ever go on another diet. It's not going to help. 98% of all diets fail. Get a real solution, you know, get a real solution. The women in Heal Your Hunger are changing their lives. So definitely, of course, I recommend you join us in our program, but get a real solution so you can start feeling happier and freer. Okay. And as you do, it will relieve the burden of the relationship. It will relieve the tension. It will relieve the feeling of hopelessness and frustration. And that in turn will make your family want to support you, want to help you take better care of yourself. You know, you can join together knowing there's a common solution that you're, you know, grabbing hold of, and that brings hope and light to everybody. And then it just from there, it just up levels from there. So I hope that makes sense. You'll get more support from your family when you get some support from the right place. Okay, when you start getting real help instead of another diet, another failed attempt, when you get some real help to end emotional eating. And that's in my experience, the only way that we can truly reach our weight loss goals is if we stop focusing on weight loss and start focusing on dealing with the underlying causes, which is the emotional eating and the emotions that drive emotional eating. When you start doing that, oh my gosh, then there's hope. Then there's weight loss without even trying to lose weight. You know, and when you feel happier and thinner and better and you're fitting your clothes, guess what? Everybody feels it and they want to support you. So that's the way to get support from your family. I hope that makes sense. You know, there's so much hope available and there's so much help available. And I just want you to grab a hold of it. I want you to finally start feeling better and making peace with yourself, because when we're not at peace with ourselves, oh my gosh, you know, it's a struggle. Everything's a struggle and everybody around us struggles too. So just know that you're not an island. You know, you're not just doing this to yourself. When you hurt yourself with the food, you're not just doing it to yourself. You're doing it to your kids. You're doing it to your dog. You're doing it to your spouse, your partner. Everybody feels that we are not an island. You know, people care about us. They love us. Yeah, we can't feel that love when we're in the food. We hate ourselves so much that we cannot imagine people loving us, but they do. People love us, and we're blessed with that. But our gift back to them, which then becomes their gift back to us, is to start taking care of ourselves and really deal with the underlying causes so we can break free from emotional eating, feel better about ourselves, feel uplifted and joyful and productive, you know, and like we're really living the life God means for us to live. So I hope that helps. You know, absolutely join me. If you want to talk about how to get help, I'm going to put in the comments section in the Facebook group from this recording, I'm going to put a link where you can sign up for a free breakthrough session with me. Okay, I'd be happy to talk with you, talk about how we can help you get on the right track towards freedom. Okay, so I'm going to do that, and also in the show notes, I'm going to put that same link. So let's have a talk. Let's have a talk, and let's help you break through that stuck place that you're in right now. I would so love that. It would be an honor. And thanks for listening today. And I'll see you on the next show. Take care.
If you enjoyed this podcast and want to get free support, insider health info, exclusive invites to events, and more, visit healyourhunger.com.